Understanding our greatest resource, groundwater and overdraft in Monterey County. This presentation is brought to you by Landwatch. Our mission is to promote sound land use policies that better our community, its long-term economic vitality, high agricultural productivity, environmental health, and social equity. The 4 points these slides will address are: what is groundwater? Why is groundwater significant to all in Monterey County? What is groundwater overdraft? How do we know our water supply is suffering from it? And why is it an issue now? And what are we doing to mitigate overdraft and secure a sustainable future water supply? Our county's groundwater is an incredible natural resource that not only provides a crucial portion of our local drinking water, but is the lifeblood to the nationally, even globally, significant agricultural production of the Salinas Valley. What is groundwater exactly? Ancient land and seafloor compose the coarse-grained sediment below our feet. Rainwater filters down to store in this porous rock, creating aquifers, vast underground water reserves, which can be exploited by pumping. The Salinas Valley is divided into 6 distinct groundwater sub-areas, while an underflow runs beneath the Carmel River. The geology is complex. However, it is known that 3 aquifers lie underneath the Salinas Valley: the pressure aquifers that rest at 180 and 400 feet respectively, and the mysterious deep aquifer. Why is groundwater significant to all in Monterey County? The Monterey County Water Resources Agency estimates that 95% of water in Monterey County is groundwater. No water is imported. All the water we use and drink is local. Groundwater provides virtually all of the water for the cities of the Salinas Valley, excepting Castroville, which desalinates a portion. Cities of the peninsula pump most of their water from the Carmel River, which is the main source of recharge for the Carmel underflow. Desal and recycling water projects, such as Pure Water Monterey, will soon be main providers as well. Groundwater is the cornerstone to the agricultural industry of the Salinas Valley. The Monterey County Farm Bureau shares some impressive numbers. Almost a quarter of jobs are directly supported by agriculture. Over 424 million pounds of produce are exported abroad. The valley produces 61% of leaf lettuce, 57% of celery, 48% of broccoli, and other high percentages of total crops grown in the United States. What an incredible resource groundwater is. But as bountiful a supply it may seem, our groundwater is finite if we take more than nature can give. Recharge is the rainfall that filters into the aquifer. Overdraft occurs when the amount of water pumped exceeds the rate of recharge. But how can we tell overdraft is occurring in our county? Let's dive into a short hydrology lesson to answer that question. In a healthy coastal aquifer, the pressure balance between the seaward flowing fresh groundwater and the inland flowing seawater remains at a state of equilibrium, where the transition zone, or brackish water, is held at bay between the two forces. Water flows downhill, even underground. It follows that the water table, or surface level of the groundwater, must be above or equal to sea level for the pressure balance to be maintained and seawater prevented from intruding into the aquifer. Here's our water bank account, so to speak. The ample supply of groundwater above sea level is what we can safely pump to use. However, once groundwater is pumped beyond that limit, tapping into our endowment principle, the detrimental and sometimes irreversible effects of overdraft come into play. This contour lines map shows the water table elevation in 2017. Sea level, labeled as 0, would run along the coastline in a healthy aquifer system, with gradually increasing positive lines as you move inland, thus creating that essential downhill flow towards the ocean. In our valley, 0 is nearly 20 miles inland from the coast, at the bottom right of the map. That orange star highlights where groundwater level is 100 feet below sea level. The blue arrows display the direction of groundwater flow. A general downward trend in water table level signifies overdraft, as plotted by the Monterey County Water Resources Agency in 2018. In the face of climate change, it is important to note the effects of drought on our groundwater. Lack of available surface water induces heavier pumping. Droughts are predicted to be longer and more frequent in our county's future, which will further exacerbate overdraft. The state of California has concluded that the Salinas Valley Basin is critically overdrafted. Seawater intrusion is a main concern for our coastal aquifers. Due to the low water tables in both the 180 and 400-foot aquifers, there is a major pressure imbalance allowing the seawater to advance. Water quality tests indicate that seawater has advanced 5 miles into the Salinas Valley in the 180-foot aquifer since the 1920s, the beginning of large-scale agriculture in the valley. Notice those ominous-looking red blobs on this map of seawater in the 400-foot aquifer. That is where seawater above has intruded into the deeper aquifer through abandoned and damaged wells. Besides seawater intrusion, other detrimental effects of overdraft include ecosystem frailty. Low groundwater levels can lead to reduced stream flow, putting dependent ecosystems at risk. Groundwater-dependent habitats in our area include the riparian or streamside habitats of the Salinas and Carmel rivers, estuaries such as the Elkhorn and Moro Coho sloughs, and deep-rooted vegetation, specifically the incredible native oak trees. Our aquifers are a shared resource that can be exploited by those with the means to dig the deepest well for short-term gain, harming all users and the environment in the long run. A true tragedy of the commons. Domestic and municipal wells, along with smaller-scale agricultural wells, are less deep and more threatened by overdraft caused by the massive water pumpers, big industrial agriculture. When wells run dry, deeper ones must be dug, which are costly to build and require more energy to pump the same quantity of water. As Stanford University's Water in the West points out, rural landowners and small-scale farmers are disproportionately affected by overdraft, as they have had fewer financial resources to dig new or deeper wells or diversify their water supply. So what are we doing to address the issue of overdraft and plan for a sustainable future? In 2014, the state passed the Groundwater Sustainability Act, which is the first statute in Californian history to mandate sustainable groundwater use. The Salinas Valley Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agency is creating a plan for our critically overdrafted aquifers to reach sustainability by 2042. Groundwater. It's the water we drink and the crux of our agricultural industry. How we manage it now will directly impact the future water supply for Monterey County. To protect our most important water source, the tools we need are legislative clarity, interagency cooperation, regulation, and accountability. Just as important is the local citizens' responsibility to understand where the water they drink comes from, as well as the issues surrounding it. The most powerful change springs from the interest and concern of the general public, and that begins with spreading the knowledge of our resources. From all at Landwatch Monterey County, we thank you for viewing this presentation and encourage you to share this video with others. Stay informed on our county's water concerns and keep the water conversation flowing.